Okay, ready? I'm Lesley Woods, and I'm playing Loud Women Festival on the 6th of September at Rich Mix at the bottom of Brick Lane. Someone wants to see you. What have you got on your head? He's supposed to be a Pomeranian, but he's got very long legs, so I think he's been crossed with a deer.
Oh, he's gorgeous. So I'll start by saying we're just so excited to have you along to play Loud Women Fest London, which is our 10th anniversary festival. So what can we expect from your set?
Well, I'm doing a solo performance, and it includes some kind of revamped material that I did with the au pairs, but it also includes some new stuff. Well, I say new. It's not been recorded. Well, some yeah, it's not. It wasn't. It's not been recorded by the au pairs. And it's like backing tracks, and I play electric guitar with it. But I've done it. I've used the backs at quite large gigs, like the ones I did with Gavin Friday and Jerry Harrison. And I used it when I supported the Chameleons. I did have backing tracks when I played Rebellion, but I've remixed them since then, so they sound a lot better. Um, and yeah, that's what you can expect.
We're really excited. It's quite a coup to have you on the lineup, and I know a lot of the bands are excited to be sharing a bill with you.
Oh, I've been
Yeah.
trying. I mean, like when I started out playing again, I mean, maybe it was just over 10 years ago, I did try to get on the Loud Women agenda, but I couldn't do it. But then I'm not particularly good at computers now. I mean, the tech stuff is like a bit over my head. That was really like a dunce. And I think partly the reason why I couldn't get through or is because I couldn't do the things like upload, and I probably had nothing to upload as well. So at that time, yeah. So
Technology definitely
I've
everything.
been trying for a while.
Oh, well, I'm glad
Yeah, it is
that
at
we've
the
found each
moment these
other.
days.
So
Hey?
I've seen obviously that the au pairs are reforming in 2026 with a new lineup, and this is all very exciting.
Yeah. I was approached by a big promoter who basically said, "Would you like to get the au pairs together again?" And I said, "Well, I don't. It won't be possible. I don't think with the original members." And he said, "Well, get new members." And I said, "Oh, okay." And then it kind of went from there. And then I kind of scouted around for a bass player and a guitarist and a drummer. And I asked Estella Adayeri from Big Joni if she would like to play bass. And she said she would immediately, which I was amazed by and very happy about. And then I asked Thurston Moore if he knew any guitarists or drummers that would fit the bill. So he put me on to a guitarist and a drummer that he works with in his group, Jem Dalton on drums and Alex Ward on guitar. And again, they both agreed immediately. And then we had a little practice with a few au pair songs, and they got it. They got everything. They got the sound. They got the riff, and they yeah. So yeah. So I've got Estella on bass, Jem on drums, and Alex on guitar. And we get on really well, which is very important. There's no ego issues, there's no hidden agendas. And they're just lovely people, just really nice individuals. Like the ex-drummer of the Au Pairs, I don't know if you've seen all the nonsense, but he obviously I mean, I did email the ex-members of the au pairs and I said, as a matter of courtesy, just for emailing to let you know I'm reforming the au pairs. Would you be at all interested? And Jane, the ex-bass player, as I knew, said no, because she hasn't played her bass for over 40 years and she doesn't have a bass. And I also asked them, what have you been doing? And what equipment have you got? Which is sensible questions because the promoter is putting us on at quite big gigs. They're not like the Fighting Cocks or, do you know what I mean? They're gigs that hold 1,000 people. So, what equipment have you got? What have you been doing? I don't even know what they've been doing as musicians, if they've been doing anything. As far as I could see, the ex-drummer had been playing a washboard on Facebook. He's a bit of a clown. And so I asked them, what have you been doing? And things like that. And anyway, they responded, and Paul, the ex-guitarist, said it was a ludicrous idea. And basically that was no. And Pete said no, because you keep telling people in interviews we were your backing band. I've never said in an interview anyone was my backing band. That's ridiculous. I've never had a backing band in my life. But anyway, as soon as I made a Facebook page, I got the trademark as well. As soon as I made a Facebook page, called it Au Pairs Official, he changed the name of his Au Pairs page, called it Official, and then put up a post saying I'd done all this. I'd asked them to audition. I got the trademark behind their backs, but and all that, just like basically a very, very biased, distorted version of events. Um, and just possible to work with. And that's why they weren't doing it. And that just triggered a lot of very nasty comments that some of them were very misogynistic and very sexist. So I emailed him and said, look, whatever your page is, you cannot use it as a platform for misogynistic insults. So he's deleted all of those, but I've asked him to change the name, but he hasn't done that yet. So that's with the ex-members. So I think it's quite important to put the record straight. I don't want to get into a Facebook in public airing of dirty linen. I mean, I just can't be asked with that. I think the best thing to do is to ignore it, although that's quite difficult when they make horrible remarks about me. I mean, they've said everything about me, like I'm a crap performer, that I'm a narcissist, that I'm an egotist, and just you name it, someone has said it, and I just won't engage with it really. Just think needs to be treated with the contempt it deserves.
Always the best way, isn't it? Just yeah. And
Hmm.
you've got an awesome looking tour coming up as well. So yeah, that's great. I was going to say
Yeah,
Estella, we know we've worked with Big Joni a lot. So you'll have lots of fun with.
yeah, they're a great band. I love them, and they're playing this wonderful gig with Thurston Moore. They're supporting him at Oslo on the 13th of September, which sounds like, well, I think it will be a really good gig. I'm going.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, she's a darling. Hey,
I might see you there then. Yeah, that looks like a great gig.
yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be nice. Be nice to meet face to face.
Yeah, definitely. And as I mentioned, a lot of the bands on the Loud Women Fest lineup have said how excited they are to play with you. I mean, kind of looking back at that Au Pair's legacy, how do you feel that the band has contributed to the post-punk movement and its relevance today?
Well, I think today, having a political message is probably more important than ever. Um, in the days when the au pairs were going, the modes of communication were a lot more limited. I mean, there was no social media. We didn't have mobile phones, and as for video meetings, well, they just didn't exist. So I think what I've noticed now is that a lot more bands are are quite political. And I think that au pairs have an important contribution to make to that in terms of like um, making comments about what the wrongs, the injustices, the evils in the world. So there's that. Um, and also, I think because of the two women, two men balance, I think it's very important to keep up that whole thing about women's space in music. Just as it is in everything, in sport or whatever, it's an uphill battle. To I mean, I was looking at my um, dashboard for my Facebook official au pairs page, and it's like women who visit the page. It's they're in a much more of a minority than men. You know what? Men just seem to be all over the place. Well, that sounds a bit silly, but just as an example, though, women are about a third of the number of total visits to the page, and so I think it's. I mean, when I do an interview, I invariably get interviewed by a man. This is the first time in a long time that I've been interviewed by a woman. In fact, I can't remember the last time I was interviewed by a woman, which again is just another um, indication of how men dominate all aspects of the culture, whether it's a magazine or anything, or even writing books about music or about the goth movement or about Oasis. I do like John Robb. John Robb is a friend of mine, so and I do like his books, but it's just that it's men who write the books about me. Although, I mean, you do get autobiographies, but when it comes to sort of writing about the record of music, zooming in perhaps on one area, there's very few women doing it. There's very few women doing what you're doing. What you're doing is amazing. It's really great, but very rare, isn't it?
I
Yes,
guess
say yes.
so.
You have to
Yes,
agree
it
with me.
is. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, and I totally recognize what you say about men still kind of really dominating every part of the music industry, whether that's, talking about it, making it, or accessing it as well. Still like 90% of the people that buy Loud Women compilations are men. So yeah, so
There you go. That's quite astounding, really. I mean, yeah, I mean that's sad. It's astounding. Well, whatever. But obviously things have improved. I mean, when I started out in the au pairs, the role models around were you could count them on the fingers of one hand. And I mean the fingers, not including the thumb, you know. But now, obviously, there's a lot more. And I think the au pairs, well, I like to think that the au pairs played a part in enabling women to have the confidence and the balls to get up and do it, like the Riot Girl movement, the girls in Russia getting up in the church and then going to Siberia.
mm,
In fact, I must find out what's happened to them. Well, the lead singer, anyway. Well, the woman who fronted the band. But yeah, so I like to think that we did play quite a big part in enabling other women to get up and do it on their own terms, without compromising in terms of their appearance, like, making them, they didn't, if they wanted to look sexy, of course, there's nothing wrong with looking sexy, but not doing it to pander to, this will get, men to get in with men, but to do it on their own terms and to do it for themselves. I like to think that we did play quite an important part in inspiring women to do it and to feel that they could. Yeah. And to cut through the sexism and the ageism and the misogyny, back then when I started out in the au pairs, it was the original au pairs, it was like very different. And the other reason why I think I'm doing it is because I think it makes me happy.
Mm.
And because obviously in all the nasty comments that were being posted, I was accused of doing it for money. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing, everyone's got to make a living, for goodness sake. And if you can make decent money out of your art, then you've made it, really. No, I don't think it gets any better than that. But but also because of personal happiness, I think. I don't want to spend the rest of my life being an immigration barrister. And because that's just not, I just don't want to do that for, yeah, it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't, it pays the bills some of the time, but it doesn't really give me, it doesn't fulfill me. I mean, when I get a great result for a refugee who has a case that's full of merit, then I feel like that's made it worthwhile. But whether I want to continue doing it for the rest of my life is a different thing. And I've been doing it for a long time, and I would like to go back to doing music. I've been trying to get back to music for over the last 10 years, stop and start fashion. And now I've been given an opportunity to go back on the road,
Yay. Good for you. So
which
what
I'm doing.
Yeah, good for you. And it just goes to show, isn't it, that your career never stops changing. And I work
No.
with a lot of young people who are, in their 20. I'm a university lecturer, so kind of these 20-year-olds are worried about, what am I going to do when I graduate? And so, I haven't decided what I'm going to be when I grow up yet. So it's,
Yeah, I
these
mean,
things
that's what,
keep changing.
yeah. I know that young people are having a really tough time, like trying to, it's taking them that far education, but then it's like the day of reckoning. So now what do I do? Um, yeah, and it's really tough. And I mean, like there are so many bands now that are starting out, and yeah, it's a tough one.
What
And
advice would
obviously,
you give to those young bands then about navigating the music career ahead of them?
um, well, I mean, first of all, I think it depends on your material. If you've got material that is worthwhile and isn't totally derivative, like you're not totally emulate. Obviously, there's a difference between being influenced by someone and then trying to copy them. If you've got something original and it's good, then there's no reason why you shouldn't cut through and you should believe in yourself. But it depends what you want when it comes to cutting through. Um, you know, um, maybe there's a lot of independent labels around now. I would suggest, like, if you've got 3 or 4 tracks that you believe in, that have got that originality and they're good, then you should keep hammering away at the smaller labels who are much more like, I mean, the whole music scene has changed now. I mean, I remember when the au pairs started out, going round loads of offices of big labels in London with the au pair's manager at that time and just getting rejection after rejection after rejection, you know. And we had actually managed to curry quite a large fan base, you know. And we did our first single on our own. We actually stuck the sleeves together. I mean, obviously it was vinyl then, but we did it all on our own. But we had built up a fan base, and I think building up a fan base is also a good idea by doing gigs, and doing gigs where you are going to get that fan base. You know, like maybe a local pub which has got a reputation for being a music pub, like CBGB's started out as a real rough dive, you know, and then a lot of the bands that we know now, like Blondie, Talking Heads, they cut their teeth playing at CBGB's, but CBGB's wasn't always CBGB's, you know. And in a way, CBGB's became CBGB's as the bands became the bands they eventually became. So yeah, so just get out there, play, build up a fan base, and then just get get a record deal, get your stuff out there. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do that now, independently through Bandcamp. You don't even need a label, do you? But you do need people who are going to buy it, I suppose. So I would say build up that fan base. I mean, I put out an EP on Bandcamp. I did it myself. I just did it really for fun. I don't think I'm not ashamed of it. I think it's the first thing I've done in years. I did it all myself. So I think I pat myself on the back for that. Um, but I don't think I would prefer to like play the material with real live musicians rather than do it on a digital audio workstation. But there are the means now to get your stuff out there, you know, and to get it on Spotify and Apple Music if you know, that's but yeah, as I say, it's I mean, I mean, I live next to Victoria Park, and they have these big festivals over there. They've got All Points East coming up. I mean, my friends and I, we look at the bill and we go, we don't know who anyone is on the bill. I do feel like sometimes I'm not really in the know, and I have a terrible memory for names. Um, but obviously, those bands that are playing, although I've never heard of them, there's a load of kids who know who they are, you know, and the tickets aren't cheap, but yeah.
Oh, maybe your name will be joining them next year.
I don't know. I think festivals vary quite a lot, don't they, in character and in um, lineup. Yeah, I think it really depends on the lineup. I could see us playing some festivals for sure. I'd love to, but I don't know who else. It would have to be a lot. That's why I like what the promoters put together with us playing with the skids. I think that works. We're of the same time. We're same politics, and then also we're playing with Gina Birch or she's playing with us, or what doesn't really matter. But yeah, again, I think that's a great lineup.
That
Yeah.
it's the
So
perfect lineup. It's yeah, it's genius whoever put that together. I can't.
yeah, and she was inspiration for me, Gina, because when she was got up and started doing it, I just thought, well, you know, that's so encouraging. Because one of the things I thought about was like, oh God, I'm so old. I'm too old to do this now. Um, but then she's doing it. And so that to me is very encouraging. Yeah. From the yeah, well it is. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's encouraging to us all.